Hi, everybody. This is Aaron Mesh with Willamette Week. It's Thursday, November 12th, and I'm speaking with Multnomah County Commissioner Sharon Meieran. We're speaking at the end of a day where 1,100 people were diagnosed with COVID-19 in the state of Oregon. I believe 350 of those diagnoses were in Multnomah County. Commissioner, how surprising was this spike?
It was shocking, but not necessarily surprising. Just given yesterday's numbers, I think we expected to see some increase in the fall and winter, just based on influenza, the bad weather, and people staying indoors. COVID maybe being more transmissible in the winter. But frankly, the 350 number is shocking.
When you say it's shocking, this is then not just the expected indoor cases that everybody knew would happen in the fall.
This is not what I would have thought would happen in the fall.
So what happened, do you think?
I mean, to be honest, I think it was a failure to take really aggressive action and preventive action early, so that now we're in a reactive mode as opposed to a proactive mode, and so we're reacting to these pretty scary numbers.
What would you have done differently?
I think there are a number of things that I've been sort of calling out all along that I think could have maybe contributed to mitigating this impact. Things such as closing indoor bars and restaurants, addressing how we approach schools. I think things like I think we should be looking at our religious institutions and what we do with those, and also how we approach elective surgeries. Those are things we could have been looking at all along. I mean, at this point, I think the only thing that's going to work is really not a pause, but a real shutdown.
So you're saying we need to go back to where we were in March?
That's just such an awful concept to me, but yes, frankly, I think that's where we need to be right now.
Is that what you expect the governor to do tomorrow morning?
Are you there?
I am. Can you still hear me?
I can hear you, right? I can hear you, but you're frozen on my screen.
Can I? Is it okay if I just keep going? Can you see
Absolutely. Me? Yep.
Is that what you expect the governor to do tomorrow morning?
I don't know. I never know what to expect the governor to do, but I am very hopeful that the governor will finally realize that what needs to happen is a shutdown, so that we can do a reset and get back on track, so that this doesn't get as out of control as it has the potential to do.
Let's say that she doesn't do that. Should Multnomah County proactively, on its own, go back to a shutdown period?
I personally, as a county commissioner, as a physician, yes, I believe that we should go to a shutdown for this, for at least a few weeks. And if we do things right, the good news is if we do things right, we can get to a place where we are able to, do the holiday shopping we want to do in some fashion, where we can get back to school in January for the next semester and do all of these things. So absolutely, we need a real shutdown, and this is something that I would pursue in Multnomah County if the governor does not do it at the state level.
I know that public health officials have expressed some consternation, essentially, that the people who are going to get penalized in a shutdown are going to be small business owners. And yet the people who probably, according to some public health officials, are most responsible for this spread are not necessarily business owners. There's private parties. We heard today about some party, I don't know what county it was in, where 100 people gathered for Halloween, which I hope they had a really good time, but
Yeah.
but now the rest of us are not. And my point isn't to shame them. My point is, how are we supposed to enforce the rules, without sending the National Guard to people's apartment buildings?
No, that's a very appropriate question. And, I think that has been the challenge. One of the challenges all along is that, clearly the impact that we're looking at is on people's livelihoods versus actual lives that are at stake. And we're never going to be able to eliminate risk of transmission of COVID. That's just not going to happen. So what we're doing is kind of balancing the risks and what we can do to mitigate risk sufficiently so that we can do the things that we want to do as much as possible within reason. And, that's the weighing and balancing that needs to happen. And I think that we have erred on the wrong side of that equation. That what I would have hoped we could do was set some, more evidence-based parameters around small businesses, around, say, indoor bars and restaurants and what they're doing. Our approach to schools. There are things that we could be doing that are smart and would mitigate risk that unfortunately I haven't seen happening. Because of that, we've gotten to this place where we only have some, we can't use the laser precision and targeting. We need to take some major action, or else we're not going to get back where we need to be in terms of both the economic benefit to our small businesses, to people earning their livelihoods, or to kids getting back to school, et cetera.
How bad is the capacity problem at Portland area hospitals at this point?
So I haven't had direct contact with hospital administrators to answer that question, but I do talk to my colleagues in healthcare, and it's pretty scary right now. There is a lot of fear around reaching and exceeding capacity in our hospital systems, and that is really a scary thing.
If you could deliver a message to Portlanders this evening, is there one that you would offer?
I guess I would say that the good news is, if we do things right, there is so much that we can do, and we can get ourselves back to a place where we are lowering the rate of transmission and not seeing as much illness. But we need to do things right, and it might be challenging, it might be painful. We are so sick of COVID. I'm sick of COVID, but it is not done with us, and we need to be taking the actions right now. But if we do things right, we can get to a place where we can resume our new normal, our connections with other people. We can get back to going to restaurants, to small businesses, to being out there. But we have to do things right now, or else we're going to sort of pass the point of no return.
What does the point of no return look like?
I think where we're getting to a point where we are exceeding hospital capacity, and we are going to figure out how we'll need to figure out how we allocate ventilators in our ICUs. We are going to need to ration healthcare. We're going to, already I think we need to figure out how best to use our testing so that we are helping the most vulnerable. But there is a lot of stuff that I just don't even, I really don't want to think about that could happen if we don't get this under control.
Okay. Commissioner, I really appreciate you finding the time for a fairly bleak conversation on a...
Wait, but there was hope. There was hope. If we do it right, that's the message I want to end with. If we do things right, there is hope. and we can get to where we need to be.
Well, thank you.
Okay. It was very nice talking to you. Thank you.
Thank you
for
again.
having this
This was
conversation.
great. Fingers crossed that tomorrow the governor makes good choices.
Fingers crossed.
All right. Thanks.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.